a mind you can't control. Running wild, can't calm down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. For a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. For a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. I'm on my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeding your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause I'd start over now. Rewind, and I won't let you go. I need you by my side.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries as we'll fall now. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And then we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yes, it's a long intro because I take a long time. It is. It gets everyone in here, gets we fellowship a little bit. We say hello. We're friendly people over here. Good to see you all. What do you guys think about Pascal's live? That's did we learn anything? Do you think we learned anything? I mean, um, there's yeah, we keep it classy here. We certainly do. I mean, it's you can look at it two different ways. One one second, caller. 1 second, caller. You can look at it two different ways. That it's that nothing was released, or you can look at it as we could have learned more. So caller, thank you for calling.
Thank you for answering.
You're live on the air.
Hello.
How you doing?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
All right.
Good. What's your thoughts?
I was kind of hoping to hear yours. I lied about my name. My name's not Carl.
I don't. That's okay. You can be
But
anybody you want to be. um.
that's amazing.
No, I was thinking. I think. I think we learned that there was more to this CPS than what Chris was allegedly telling us.
Hold on. What is CPS? Sorry?
Yeah, see, they're saying your volume's low. Hold on one second.
My volume is low?
Let me try something else. 1 second. Fix this. Okay. So what do you think about this?
What do I think about? I'm sorry, I just clicked the video. I'm not sure what is explain this.
Okay, so do you know what you're calling in for?
No.
Okay, we'll take the next caller. All right. I don't know if it's Chris or not, but if he doesn't know what he's calling in for, then he should probably wait and call. Right, Erica? I don't know if it's Chris or it's Pish or it's whoever. I don't think it was Chris.
Lee.
Thank you for calling. Hello, Lisa.
Hi there. How are you?
Good. How are you? You're live.
Great. Okay, first of all, I love your show, and I think you are a great person to be out there helping others.
Thank you.
I have some thoughts.
Sure.
I've taught kids who live with autism over years, many years.
Mm-hmm.
They can be very successful in so many ways, and they can be very difficult for some people to understand them and be able to work with them successfully.
Sure.
Teachers have a lot of training in this area that I'm sure parents don't have that they should have when they have kids that have autism. I'm not making excuses for anyone, but I'm making a point that it could be very difficult for their own mother and father to be able to handle them, much less a step parent.
Mm-hmm.
I can see where some difficulties would definitely be there. It changes your life.
Mm-hmm. I think there's probably frustration for parents, step parents, that don't understand what autism is, right? They don't get maybe how autism works, and
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And even with professionals who are trained all of their lives in this area, such as special ed teachers, one reason that districts' highest lawsuits are in that special ed department, and it's hard to keep good teachers there because of so many reasons. It is a very difficult area. I can see where difficulties would happen in the home, especially if it's not their parent.
Mm-hmm.
I think, though, ultimately, my thoughts about this case is, I think of that old saying where people say, if only I knew then what I knew now,
Mm-hmm.
what I know now. And there's a lot of things we do know. And I think it's a good time to go back from the very beginning with those things in mind, and then look at everything with fresh eyes, but with more knowledge. And I believe that would be the best thing that could happen. But I know it's got to be difficult to have anyone go and start the search of their home and all if they're not there and no one's there to let them in. But I do think that would be a good thing to do.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Do you have any other thoughts on what's going on out here?
I think that with one of the more recent things that came out, it was a text message that a neighbor sent out about talking with Katie that morning when she got home from being away for the 10 minutes or
Uh-huh.
so. I think that the neighbor mentioned when she looked back on her camera, or he looked back on his camera, that they saw a figure in the kind of front window area, and then the lights went out.
Shadowy
Um,
figure, wasn't it? Like a
and
shadowy figure?
it was like a shadowy figure, and Katie explained it a little differently to the neighbor of what happened. You know, then when what we saw on TV the first time, how she explained things, and then later on how she explained things. So I guess with everything I'm watching, I saw her story change 3 times.
How did she? I guess I missed that part. How did she explain it to the neighbor?
To the neighbor, and I'm trying to think of which show I saw it on, but she explained to the neighbor that she put Seb to bed, and that later she heard the noise, and said, "What's going on in there?" And he, or "Are you okay?" or something like that, and that he answered back something like, "I'm fine. Go to bed."
Mm.
And then she went to bed. And then the neighbor says she saw this figure. And then Katie's telling the neighbor the last thing was he said to her, "Just go to bed." But Katie said after Sebastian said that to her, she went to bed, and then she just woke up the next morning and he wasn't there. She didn't talk about the noise in the night.
Listen,
I think.
I mean, I don't see how anyone can't see, especially after tonight, even though we didn't learn anything in the CPS realm, we did learn that there was more, and there was more calls, more to this than what Chris was telling us, Katie was telling us, and what Seth actually knew about. I don't see how that doesn't like set off some alarm bells here. Right? I mean, how can the sirens not be blaring right now that something was going on in that home, that and now there's a child missing.
Right. And when you mentioned CPS report, I can tell you, I wish there were cameras in every single classroom at school, just so that the public could really see what teachers are doing, how much training they must have to be able to handle so many tasks at once, including teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And to see the behaviors of all the children and everything that the teacher is always working with. I wish the public would know things like all the many, many hundreds of hours per year teachers have to go through in training. And I'll tell you, one of the big parts of training is noticing abuse.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
On exactly what type of abuse to notice.
Absolutely.
Details, protocol on when to call CPS. We would never want to waste time for CPS. They don't even have enough time.
No,
to take care
they
of the things that you know.
They're overran, and I know, like, trust me, CPS they fail at times. But damn, they're overworked. My best friend works for CPS,
Exactly.
and
I'm
they're
telling you, when people
overworked.
say they failed, I literally have had. I mean, obviously, I taught for so many years. I've had to call CPS several times within those years. I talked to these people so many times, and I had to call them before because I was meeting the protocol
Mhm.
of what I was trained to do. And this is a call. And after we get a case number, we can call and check on it. We can talk to them. We can tell them things that
Yep.
we remember. We can tell them if we thought things, something would change.
Sure. Yep.
And I have talked with CPS where they've said before, these are the things that can happen with this. Okay, this is when we knew that an uncle was grooming and doing things to his niece. And what I so much wanted this little girl to get help, and I would call and check. CPS worker said to me, "I know this is terrible to even say this out loud to you, but we have so many cases that are so much worse than that."
Yep.
And they have to prioritize.
They have to prioritize them. They absolutely have to prioritize them. And my best friend, she's my neighbor as well. She has to do the daily calls that they get. They have to be there within 48 hours. Within 48 hours. And then they have their caseload on top of that they have to do. And let me tell you something. After they clock out, they're still working. They're still at home working. Guarantee you. And that's why there's such a high overturn rate, with CPS, because it's very stressful.
Well, and I can say this too. Things that happen with children can sometimes happen with adults, as far as, for example, sometimes kids, they won't say anything. They've been trained to say it. They've been trained to tell the counselor or the teacher at school. They have been trained on what's what and when to say something. And so they still will usually either keep it to themselves or sometimes, luckily, they will share it with a friend, like on the playground. And then that little person will tell the teacher. So we still look at that as a cry for help. But the reason that they don't talk is because they are so afraid of worse consequences. And this does make me think, and there's still not an excuse that we can say is allowed, I guess. But I think it has to be considered that maybe this time that Sebastian mentioned things to his grandmother, that the grandmother felt probably, yes, I want to say something, but didn't feel compelled enough yet that the consequences would be that, I don't know how to word this, but maybe she, in her mind, is thinking, if I say something now, it's only going to be so much worse. And maybe thinking, if it gets worse and I hear about it again, then I have to. Kind of when you feel the need is greater, and that's when you make your move. I think it had to be a very difficult situation, because you do get afraid that that person may not come to you again, and you'll never know anything.
Right.
Maybe you weren't sure, yet. You didn't. So you don't want to stop that communication and then not know more. Maybe you felt like you needed to know a little more before you made the move.
Sure. All right. Well, I understand. I wish we could solve it, and it's the system's it's broken. It's broken. Something needs to give, to say the very least. Thank you so much for calling, my friend. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah, that was there should have been the first call to the other parents. I hope Seth pushes that Misha. Yeah, sorry. One second, I gotta check something. Do you see? Okay. Um, Justin, that was definitely who I said it was, and she's drinking. Tell the truth in a way. Maybe Sebastian told a friend. I think, uh, it's been said that allegedly Katie had, a little bit of a drinking problem. Uh, did that contribute? I don't know. What do you mean different license plates though? What do you mean by that? God, please, please, internet, stop. Ever since this thing has been going on with the sun or whatever, it's been buffering like hell. My electric just went out earlier while I was live. Uh, I see. What did you mean by that message? We're going to talk about Chris's and Katie's vehicles here in just a little bit. And we looked some of that up, the history of their vehicles that they've owned, and we're going to talk about it in just a little bit. The reports are most likely what we've already heard about to that. Then I mean, the way that's okay, let me just play this. I'll play it because I screen recorded this part, and
everybody already knows what you're talking about, Pascal. Other creators have been on it. Tony mentioned it last night in TikTok. Yeah, I have the DCS records for that house.
DCS records for that house. Okay, can you explain to me, because I know it's the Department of Children's Services, correct? So it's basically CPS, but Tennessee's version of CPS, correct?
Correct.
So what exactly did you learn? What was shed? What light was shed on you?
No, my eyes are open to a lot of things, and no, I can't share it with you. First of all, DCS reached out to my attorney, and because social media gets around, they reached out to my attorney. My attorney reached out to me, and I told them I had no plans of releasing any of this stuff at all. But I know it. I know what happened. I know the reports that were going on. I have a lot more understanding of what was happening in that house now.
Okay, so you are not.
He says he has a lot more understanding about what was going inside that house now. They did reach out. Yes, they did reach out. What does that mean? Clearly he's not going to tell us, right? Not going to tell us what it is, but he continues, and what he says next is just as interesting in my opinion.
Gonna release the information?
No.
Why not? The reason why I asked this, Seth, is because it could give more insight on why your son may have ran away, why your son may have disappeared. I mean, if it's not to the public, have you at least given it to law enforcement?
Oh, Sumner County has had it from the get-go.
Yeah, they've got it.
You know, I've been in contact with TBI. TBI didn't have it, and I advised TBI to turn around and request the unredacted records because I got the redacted ones, and I told them that they need to request the unredacted records and they need to look at it.
Okay, that's something I didn't know that they had. It. Tony, can you expand on that? Oh, go ahead,
Yeah.
Seth.
Tony hasn't seen the records. I haven't shared them with anybody but my attorney.
Wow.
We have, for full transparency, we have discussed some of the things in those records very vaguely, but he's under legal advisement not to share those, Pascal.
I see.
With the public.
Okay, I get it. It's just shocking information, and I'm sure. So you're saying that there's more incidents that happened where CPS showed up to the house beyond just the belt situation with Mr. Proudfoot. Am I correct or am I wrong?
Yes.
That's big. That's big. Has CPS came other than just the belt situation? Yes. That's big. What was going on in that house? Something was going on in that house. Whether Sebastian was saying things to his teachers, if the teachers was picking up something, or a little bit of both. I don't know. But something, Chris said, so the first time. What was going on? What was going on in that house? Clearly, it was miserable for Sebastian because don't forget, do not forget this. Christopher Proudfoot said that Sebastian wanted him out of the house. Remember that? He thought he was going to get me out of my house. Clearly, God, it breaks my heart. Clearly, Sebastian was miserable. Now, it may have not, it could have been something, Sebastian could have said something, like my mom and Chris fight all the time, for example. I'm not saying that's what they said. I'm just saying for an example. Or it could have been something much worse, right? But clearly, they were coming there multiple times. And remember when Chris, he accidentally blurted this out, I think. Oh, it's her again. Meaning the CPS worker. Oh, it's her again. Remember that? Oh, it's her again. Hi. Remember in that interview? He could have been asking questions to his peers like your mom or stepdad do this to you. I mean, perhaps, it's all speculation at this time. Green as the leg is a female. Yes, that was on Smiley's. Oh, hi, it's me again. Yeah, exactly. Something was going on.
Are we talking multiple? Or are we just talking about like one other incident?
You're digging.
He's digging, isn't he? I'm
just saying, hey, I gotta ask these questions.
He's trying to get to the meat.
Yeah.
Just trying to get to a little bit. I'm just trying to get a little bit.
Church.
I mean, we could talk about church another time, but right now
No,
I'm asking
that's
that
what
question.
you tell me every time.
Okay.
We talk about church another time.
Yeah, because we're talking about Sebastian right now, right? We're talking about Sebastian right now. So I want
Maybe
to.
God's going to give you the answer next time you're at church.
There it is. Okay, fine.
We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you about this.
I think so.
There it is. We go. Oh, at the vigil.
Oh, yeah, that you said that you told me you were showing up for.
I will definitely come through. It's this weekend, right? But you guys are you guys doing a ride through up to a particular place, or is that a separate vigil? Can you
No.
explain that to me?
We're doing it's a MC ride.
Okay. Okay.
MC ride. Meeting place will be at 4, kickstands up at 5, rollover vigils from 6 to 7. Well, you got the helmet for it.
Hold on.
Okay.
Suspect,
Fair enough.
everything is on the table.
Okay.
Absolutely everything.
Action against DCS.
That's not something we can discuss now. I would say right now, everything is on the table, just like
And
everybody's.
That's a neighbor said CPS was called a lot about couple allegedly abusing Sebastian. Now there is, and it's nothing that has been confirmed that I'm aware of, but there has been allegedly, they said, a neighbor that called CPS. We do know that the school notified CPS. I think Sebastian had evidence of abuse on his body. They couldn't let that be seen by CPS. Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't think for a second, I don't believe Chris Proudfoot for a second when he says he swatted Sebastian one time on his buttocks with, did he say his hand or a belt? I can't remember, but I think it was a belt, because that would be, you cannot whoop a child with an object. That is against the law, that you cannot hit them with an object. Yeah, whack him. Yeah, and that's when he made the sound. One lick is what he said. Yes, one lick. Does anyone in their right mind thinks he did that one time? Remember when we heard Nina? What did Nina say yesterday when we were playing it? What did she say? She alleges that Chris hit her child that had braces on in the face. And then threw a child in a car seat. What is one thing that we see in all of these cases, y'all? What is one thing that we see in all of these cases when these children go missing? It's physical abuse. Physical abuse. Hitting. And a toddler. Yes, yes, and a toddler. Exactly, Sense of Soul. Exactly, because remember, he said this 3-year-old needed to be a man, just like the Elijah Vu case needed to be a man. What 3-year-old needs to be a man? And what man needs to hit a 3-year-old? Really? Think about that. Repetitive physical abuse. Yes. Name an abuser that hits one time. I'll wait. I'll wait. Because it's never going to happen. Name an abuser that hits one time. Name someone that just hits one time. I don't believe him for a rat's ass second. Exactly, Tar. Abusive parents give no snacks. Well, Green Eyes, he I think that Chris just, in my opinion, made Sebastian's life hell. I believe it was just hell for the most part. It's never, Tam, never once and done, ever. Chris said he used to open hand One Faith because she's too young for the belt. September Rain, thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you. Thank you, dear. Appreciate that. And Jessica, thank you so much, dear. Appreciate that. I'll be talking a lot too. Thank you for your support. Thank you. All Injustice, he's been terrible to that boy for a long time. Sorry, I've got the thing back on. It's always abuse and usually the step parent. I'm so sad for Sebastian. Absolutely. Well, we went over statistics the other day, and a step parent has 3 out of every 100 homicides are children. 3 out of every 100 in America. That's entirely too much, right? Let me see here. What was the statistic? I'm trying to look real quick. It's way up there. Step parents have a higher risk, 16 times higher risk of being unalived or abused than biological parents. 16 times more likely to unalive or be physically abused than biological parents. What do you think about that? In my opinion, what was it? In my opinion, his bathroom accidents were because Sebastian was nervous. My son went to bed. I never hit him because of this. I would wake him up, go to the bathroom at night. He stopped. Yeah. I absolutely think that it was related to abuse. I mean, and just think what Sebastian went through before he was even in Tennessee, when he was in California. People can say what they want about Seth, but this is about Sebastian, and Seth is the only parent I see fighting for. Yeah, oh, absolutely. And Nerdy Girl, I absolutely support Seth. I absolutely support Seth. Do I think he's perfect? I don't. I don't think he's perfect. But I don't think none of us are perfect at the end of the day. 3%, whoever are the 97% are adults. 3% are children out of every 100. I wish Seth would have known these warning signs about the diapers. Yeah. Free to be me. Thank you so very much, my friend, for becoming a member. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate you. Welcome to the family. No one is perfect. No one is perfect. I'm a step parent, but I would never hurt any of my children, but maybe no. And listen, Peggy Sue, listen, there are amazing step parents out there. There are people who step up, literally step up, and are there for someone else's children, right? That fill that gap, that other, deadbeat parents in some cases don't want to fill, and step parents can get a bad rap, right? But statistically speaking, we're just talking about how it's the, you know, step parents are more likely to hurt or unalive 16 times higher than non blood, right? But, you know, not everyone sees it the way, you know, you see it. Yes, yeah, yeah. You know, it's always, most step parents are good or decent. Most are. Most are. And I don't want that to be lost. Um, he is far from perfect, but I have to. Absolutely. Absolutely, nerdy. I absolutely support Seth. Um, he is the only one out there busting his ass day in and day out. The only one. I mean, you know, he was even crying today over, um, you know, talking about Katie being in a wedding gown. You know, there was real love there at one point, right? And I think Katie has just really changed since she's been with Chris. I really think so. I think Katie has just, I don't know, sometimes people change. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's um, the people around them, right? Because Katie has always been the type of person, uh, she's a survivor. Katie is a survivor. You got to say that. She's um, always found a way. She struggled for most of her life, but now I think she's lives more comfortably. And you know, I wonder if, because Katie, she's not close with her family, right? She's not close with her family because there obviously was some abuse. You know, you got to think about Sebastian's, or not, sorry, not Sebastian's, Katie's mom. Remember what she was charged with, right? There are a lot of criminals. They're criminals, and I think Katie's, the only family that she really considers her family is Chris's family. Maybe low self worth, yeah. I had some kids at one point. I refused to do discipline, even. Yeah, I am. Put them in timeout. Kind. Yeah, yeah. Understand. Uh, Justin, she was on the phone crying with her dad the other day. Who's she? Like, uh, Katie was? Of course, Team Sebastian all the way. All right. So there is some vehicles that appear to still be. Hold on. I need my phone. I need to look at some notes here. We're going to talk about some vehicles. Okay. Um, Katie. Katie still has the record show, at least on my end, that Katie still has a alleged Mini Cooper, a 2012 Mini Cooper Countryman S all-wheel drive. It is a 2012. And the records say, from what it shows me, that it is still in her name. I don't know where it would be. I don't know if she's got it somewhere else. I don't know. Now, Chris had or has an alleged 2014 Chevrolet Silverado 1500. Its original title date was 4/22/2020. The Brinks fan, yeah, but she doesn't own the Brinks fan. Katie went to boot camp in Chicago. Let me check some stuff here, guys. They own a Harley Davidson as well, a white 2014 Chevrolet truck, and a Mini Cooper that's still in their name. It doesn't say it's a trade-in. It does not say it's a trade-in. Here, I'll show you what it looks like. I have to... This is... Oh, hold on. No, let me find it here. Well, hold on. Let me email these to myself real quick. And then, someone used to own a Ford Flex too, but you know, it's interesting to know. All right, here we go. I'm emailing myself. Just going to take 2 seconds, y'all. All right. I mean, I have the history too. The Infinity was in Kathy's name. The first, yeah. There was, what is it? I see. What's the note? Let me fix it here. Okay. Give me 1 second for it to go through. I'm hoping it went through. I'll show you what they look like. How many motorcycles did they have? I see you. Okay, here we go. Download that. All right, just got them. They're both white in color. And I can't show any more information about it because of YouTube. But what I can show you is what these trucks in cars look like. Hold on, I need to blur out some stuff right here. Oh, crap. Bear with me, guys. Okay. There's that one. Now, they could have been traded in, but it does not say this on our thing. I'm just going to say that. On our paperwork, it still says that they own it. Yeah, these photos are just, yeah, they're just a stock photo. It's not the actual car, but it's what it looks like. Right here. Nothing on our end says that it doesn't say that they were transferred or anything. Again, the records could be behind. It could have been totaled. It could have been transferred. It could have been traded. But it does not say that. Is the local law enforcement not sharing information? I'm a bit confused. Or is something they're holding for evidence? They're not sharing nothing. Not a wooden nickel, nothing. These are just stock photos. This is a 2014 Chevrolet Silverado, and the original title date is 4/22/2020. Let me see if I can see Katie's original title date on that. And on the Mini Cooper, it says latest plate was July 1st, 2023. And it still says it's in her name. Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I mean, everything, law enforcement has a hell of a lot, a billion and, more resources than we could ever get. Within 10 minutes away, Chris wanted Katie mute the phone. Issued or expired? That's a good question. Let me check. It says latest plate. Um, 2023. That's all it says on my end. She originally got it in, so I don't know. Don't know. As Peter Hyatt stated, Katie holds the key. Oh, she absolutely holds the key. Katie absolutely holds the key. Oh, I've got the phones off. Shit. I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot to turn them on. Wonder if they own a storage unit. Chris does. So if you don't turn on the plates, does it still show ownership? They would expire. You've texted, okay. Thank you for calling. Hey, Cassie, hold on one second. Oh, the sound is not. The sound is really bad. I can't hardly hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Not really.
No?
You're pretty low today. Hold on one second. Talk now.
Is that better?
Not really.
Call back.
Call back. See if we can get a better line. Let's see if that works better. Cassie's usually pretty loud. Unless they go through financials, meaning law enforcement going through. I'm sure that they have, law enforcement has picked Chris, Katie, and Seth, picked them up, and then turned them upside down. Hello?
Is that better?
A billion times better. Thank you.
Okay, great. Yes. Couple of questions. In the chat, I see you said that you said the plate was 2023, but in ICU it said 2023. So I guess that was, because it'll say the month and then it'll say the date, the year.
Mm-hmm.
So isn't that interesting? So all of a sudden it flashed in me, okay, so Candace got a car, right? Because something major happened with her, right?
Yes.
So then all of a sudden there's not just the registration, but a plate.
Mm-hmm.
Not a renewal, but a plate. So then if they had Sebastian disappear, maybe somebody needed a car to make him disappear.
I don't know, but I've always wanted to know about that potential Uber car in the middle of the night. Listen, if Sebastian was taken out of there, he had to be taken out of back with a car, right? And if he walked out of there, he had to walk out of there. So there's got to be something on camera. Either someone came through that house, out of that garage, or to that house, or he walked out. It's got, some camera's got to find something.
But then we go back to the saying, what if he never made it to the house? Seth says he can hardly tell if that's really Sebastian or not. Police say, I think it was Seth or Tony says that they think it's him because of the way his movements were. Well, Katie could do that. Katie could run like him, pretend it's him with a black outfit. I'm just saying, maybe if Sebastian disappeared, maybe they hired someone and had to get a car for that someone they hired to take Sebastian somewhere.
Right.
So maybe he never made it home.
I mean, perhaps. You just never know. Free to be me. Thank you so much for becoming a member, my dear. Appreciate you.
The last thing is, last night on that TikTok that Tony was on,
Mm-hmm.
and he first said about the information that Seth was going to share
Mm-hmm.
about CPS records. But
Mhm.
then he started, I don't know if it was before or after, he started saying about some of the things he's been hearing is disgusting, and that's when he went all, I have nothing to do with Chris anymore, and some of the things I've heard about a mattress. He said, let me ask you this. He said, I don't know any one of us that are being accused of making a child sleep in a garage.
No shit. Exactly. Exactly.
And it was written all over his face because he was thoroughly disgusted. He had tears in his eyes almost. And remember, in Pascal's, he said he himself had discussed some things on the report. He didn't say what. He didn't go into it like he had really seen it, right?
Uh-huh.
Seen everything. But just the look on his face and for him to even bring up the mattress and to say that kind of gave me that non-feeling like he knows.
Mm. I mean, something's off. Something. I mean, I don't.
He was that disgusted.
I mean, I
He
don't.
wasn't disgusted like it was a rumor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's all I had to say. And thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you, my dear.
But at least we know now that there was definitely something else go. Oh, and Faith, Nina said that Faith told her that Faith saw Chris hit Sebastian, and that was around the same time of Christmas time, right? And then Faith comes back, and that's when Nina got the emergency, court hearing
Mm-hmm.
against Chris.
Damn.
That's when that first started, and then in January was when I guess the CPS call. So we kind of figure, because Chris Light said it was years ago, but see, there were multiple. But anyway, that still goes along with the 1223 license plate. It just struck me how something big happens. Well, we need to get a car. Kansas needed to get a car. Now we got this one over here, suburb 2.0, this county,
Mm-hmm.
just in the suburbs, upper class, and they need a car.
I mean, law enforcement has to have a car by now. They have to have
Yeah.
someone on a damn car right now, or they have to have
And
Sebastian walking out of that house.
Yeah, and somebody else in the chat said, what about that storage unit?
Mm-hmm.
That keeps being brought up, storage unit,
Mm-hmm.
that the car could be hidden.
I mean, if you have a storage unit, some little, and you pay like cash every month, nobody would ever know. Nobody would ever know.
So that's why somebody in the chat said, oh no, the storage unit, they could park that little minivan in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I never thought of something like that. Yeah, that's interesting.
So that's all I had.
That's interesting.
And have a wonderful evening.
You too, my dear. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that's our little Cassie there. So much, Cassie. And thank you, All Injustice. Thank you so much for. He's been terrible to that boy for a long time. It's always abuse, and usually the step parents is that situation. Yeah. Thank you. You still. Oh, absolutely. You still need identification. Yeah, you still need identification, but I mean, how are they going to? It's not really on a computer or anything. These little places pop up everywhere. Um, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if she still has it. The thing is, it does not say that it's been transferred. It says it's still in her name. Now, could the records be wrong? 1,010%. Could it have been totaled? Absolutely. Could it have been sold? Absolutely. Could it have? Who knows? But um,
you're calling a show.
there's a lot. There's a lot that it could be. Now that there's actually been a lot of remains found in storage units. Lots. Lots. Can someone check who owns trash pickup service? Any relatives? I don't know, but all I know is
To accept, press.
thank you for calling.
Hi, it's Ashley. I just wanted to kind of pick you up a little bit. I have some thoughts. I don't know. When they were talking about those CPS reports, my stomach just turned. Can you hear me well?
Sure can, dear.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. Did you feel that way? Like where your stomach just dropped?
Oh, absolutely,
It
because
made it seem like there was like so many. Sorry, go ahead.
well, sorry. There's only one reason why why would Chris not tell us about another incident? Because he's hiding something.
Because Sebastian, in my opinion, I have to say that, I know. Sebastian was sleeping in that garage, and because of the accident, because of the SA, and I have a feeling, I don't know if I'm right, but what if, this is just a guess, what if he was SAing him as well, and that's why he allowed those people around him, because he wanted Sebastian to say it was someone else.
I mean, I pray that that's not it. I pray to
know.
God. I pray to God.
And he's getting older, and he was going to move in with his dad, and he would have told his dad that it was him. Like, that just came to my mind, like, today, and I pray to God I'm not right, but it would kind of make sense.
I don't know, but Chris, he always says that's things for our household to deal with or whatever, right?
Exactly.
And he never really speaks about it. I don't know. I just know that Seth said that there was more than what he realized was going on, and that there was more calls than what we knew about. And that tells me that he told us about the SWAT, right? But he hasn't told us about what the other call was about. Chris didn't.
That's what I mean. That's why it's like, it's giving us a clearer picture while still, I understand where Seth's coming from. He doesn't want to lose his attorney. He doesn't want to get in trouble, and I totally understand that. But I just wish that all of the horrible things that they were doing could be brought to life, like to public, because it's like, why are they getting away with this? Why? Who do they really know? Like, that's what I want to know. And And it just is pointing more and more towards they know someone really high up.
I don't think they know any. I don't think that. I don't think that personally. I don't think it's they know anyone high up or anything, because I don't think anything could stop the TBI, the FBI, the Secret Service.
Unless if they were kind of coached by someone higher up. Because his mommy really wanted that baby girl.
Yeah, but I just don't think that's likely,
I agree.
personally.
But it's just so weird. It's like, why? I know, we all say it. Why aren't they in jail? Why isn't something more happening? Why? It's just these things go over and over in my head. And it's like, this poor baby. Not baby,
Well, he's a
man.
baby. Kids are babies to us. You know what I mean? They're kids. They're
Yeah.
always babies to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I don't know. I look at my son, and let me tell you, he has some hard meltdowns because he is on the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
But I could never even think his butt. Never.
Right. Right.
They're dysregulated. You have to. And then when Seth keeps bringing up they weren't getting him the right therapy, with a child on the spectrum, they need a lot of different therapies in order to regulate.
Yes.
And in order to function well, and and it just makes me think maybe they weren't doing any of it.
Well, to be a parent, you have to be more mature than the child. You know what I mean? And if a lot of us were raised differently. I got spankings as a kid.
I did too.
I got spankings, but we were. It was a different time. It was a different time,
Yeah.
and hitting a child does nothing. It does nothing.
No.
It really it
Just
does.
to be violent.
It just teaches them. It's like if they go to school and they hit someone, and
What are you gonna say?
you come home and the teacher calls and says, "Oh, little Bobby hit Susie today," and what are you going to do? Come home and whoop him and say, "Don't you hit somebody?" And you're hitting. I mean, like, that's the stupidest thing.
Yep. And there's so many studies on it. Like that's what I don't understand. Like,
listen,
some parents still do it, and it's like there's just so many studies on it.
take an electronic away. Trust me, that'll do it. That'll do it. That'll do it. Trust me.
Or their favorite toy if they're younger.
Yeah.
What my son's therapist taught me was to put his favorite toy or blanket in timeout instead of him, so he thinks the toy is getting in trouble for what he did.
Right.
And let me tell you, it works like a charm.
Right.
He's only 3, so he's young. But there's things that you can do without ever hurting a child. You know, and there's the parents that say, "Oh, it hurts me more than it hurts them." How do you know? You're not living in their body.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean,
belt thing. Oh, my blood boils with that. And the pressure washer, if it's true, allegedly. Yeah, I don't know.
well,
And what kind of a mother is she? Letting all this happen?
Good question. Good question. What kind of mother is she? I don't know if she. I don't know. We've all been. I think we've all been in relationships, and we've. I don't want to say settled is the word, but we've put up with things that we never thought we would put up with. But I don't think I would put up with that if I had a kid in a relationship. I've been in other relationships where I didn't have kids at the time, and I put up with a lot more shit than I
We should have.
right. But
Yeah, and that's the rose-colored glasses. You're in love, and you think I did that, and then I had a baby, and it was fine. That's why I'm a single mom.
Right.
I'm not. No one is ever gonna. He wasn't hitting my child, but other things that just showed me that he wasn't ready to be a parent. And even that, the slightest bit of neglect, and I'm gonna go and never come back.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything crazy. It was just maybe leaving him in a diaper for too long. But I don't let that fly. Maybe do it once. Okay, we all make one mistake, but when it's reoccurring, no.
Right.
And that's just a diaper. And then I look at Sebastian, and I'm like he went through 50 times worse than that, and she still put up with it, all to have a big house.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Right.
That says nothing. Some of the poorest people have the best lives. They're the happiest. They're the nicest.
And are the
They're
best
the most
parents.
generous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy to me that you would throw all of that away. Basically throw your kid away for a man that doesn't love you, doesn't love your child, cheats on you, talks to other women no matter where he goes.
I don't think
disrespects other women.
I don't think he's capable of actual love. I don't believe Chris is
No.
capable. I mean, he is a serial matrimoniist. You know what I mean? I don't even know if that's not a word, but I just made it up. He's a serial matrimoniist. And like this
If
man.
I've ever seen a narcissist, I've seen one now. That's insane.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm not a doctor, I can't diagnose, but if he isn't one, then I don't even know. Because that's just not right. That's just, it's all about him. Don't talk about me, you're hurting my feelings.
Yeah.
And then the size 14 boot, dude, you're lucky if you have a size 8.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, but thank you so much for answering my call.
Of course.
I get so heated about this case because I just wish that baby would have known love. And I think he did from his dad, but I think that even his dad has learned things that maybe he shouldn't have done.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that no parent's perfect. We all know that.
Of course.
It's easy to look at someone else and point the finger, especially when you're not a parent. Before I was a parent, I judged, I'll admit it. But now that I'm a parent, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Have
absolutely.
the tablet at the dinner table while we're out,
Right. Right.
But I don't know. It's sad, and I feel bad for Seth because he's getting hate and he's trying his best, and he just looks so run down, and I want to give him a hug.
Seth's about to break.
Fragile.
He really is. He's about to break. And he's just exhausted. The man is just exhausted in every way. And it's not having answers is the word. It's like not knowing is just horrible because your mind doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Your body can't stop because your mind doesn't stop, right? You're constantly looking, constantly trying to find. And, I just.
So sad. Imagine being in his shoes, reading Jen's CPS report with someone else or not, and sitting here and going, why didn't I blink? Why didn't I blink? How did I let this happen? You're blaming yourself even though it's not your fault. And your hands are so tied, there's nothing you can do, and your child is still missing. That is a kind of hurt that I hope, we all don't go through. And I would go crazy, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And for almost 3 months, it's hard enough one day. Some people, start fighting people and freak out. And I probably would too because it's scary.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for calling, my friend. I appreciate you. I'll call back
you.
soon.
I will. All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye. Great point, Mohawk. Justin, they bought the home in September 19, 2022. So I wonder how many times CPS was there, only lived there 1.4 years. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Very, very good point. I don't know. Orange Wedge, thank you so much, my friend. I do appreciate it. What's your question on latest developments on Sebastian? What's your overall? I mean, the Pascal had a show earlier with Tony and Seth, and there was basically no new information other than CPS allegedly Seth got the records, and he got the CPS records, and CPS was there more times than Chris and Katie told us. He did not share because his counsel told him not to share, advised him not to share the records. But it was worse than what he had imagined. Remember Chris telling the CPS work? Yeah, that's exactly what I said, Southern Girl, just a minute earlier. Oh, hey, it's you again. Why would he say again if they're bingo, bingo, bingo? Yes, let's give an applause for this comment. Sorry for your ears. Absolutely. Why would he say again? Because he told on himself. He told on himself. You're welcome, Orange Wedge. Thank you. Law enforcement, they've had him from the beginning. And listen, I just woke up the dog. Damn it, Tia. Damn it. I'm sorry. Let's listen to a little bit of what happened last night with Tony. Now, people feel very different about Tony. Some people absolutely love him, and some people do not. And I am not here to judge you either way on how you feel. Let's see here. Rach, what's up?
Hi, how are you, Justin?
Good. How are you, my love?
I'm good tonight.
Good.
Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
I just want to say hi to everybody in chat. My chat's messed up with everybody else and all the things going on with YouTube.
God, it's
But
bad,
at
isn't
any
it?
rate,
So bad.
It is. It's horrible. Like, I'm trying to watch between my TV and my phone and the chat, and they're all different.
Yeah. I was live earlier and my electric went out. So
Oh, no, I don't envy you at all. I know that feeling living in rural Tennessee now.
yeah, it happens. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah. Okay, so my thoughts are, I watched the Pascal show, and I was extremely alarmed. I know I moved from Southern California to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee doesn't have the best reputation in any county regarding law enforcement, the communication, the families, and money. I can get into that. I can give you a case. Oh, my word. But I was alarmed at the fact that Sumner County, whether it be the Sheriff's Department and or CPS, did not hand over the entire file to TBI, that it was redacted.
Well, I don't know. Now, I think he said it was redacted for him, not redacted for TBI.
See, I pulled something away differently that TBI did not have the entire file in their hands regarding the CPS information, that was handed over to them after the fact. Don't know. Maybe you have to go back and re-listen to it, but that's what I pulled away tonight, that TBI did not have the full file.
I've got, so someone wrote TBI didn't have them at all. We'll go back and
I had pulled away.
we'll go back.
Okay.
Caller, that's what I heard also. Okay, everyone's saying you're correct. Okay. Okay.
So that's what I pulled away, that, there was basically three happenings going on. One, they didn't receive it. Two, it was redacted. And then third, finally, when the attorney got involved with Seth, that
you had to send TBI the paperwork. You had to send TBI the paperwork. Wow.
Yeah, so my question is, for any resident of any state, particularly...
That's alarming. That's really fucked up.
That's very alarming. But, it goes back to a lot of our history with the goings on in the world now, why different agencies still to this date post, the 9 and the, other part, the 1-1 part, post that, why agencies still don't have the technology or the bulletins, or are they just not reading the information that they receive? And to my point of that, Sumner County, if they did not hand over all of the information in a missing child case, that should absolutely warrant the Attorney General being notified by Seth and his attorney, or, parties involved.
I'm clutching my pearls right now. I'm literally clutching my pearls.
Too. You can maybe hear my voice is a little bit elevated tonight, because being a Tennessee resident now, that is alarming to me, because you hear about this stuff go on. I mean, believe me, there's a case of a friend right now in Memphis. Like, oh my word, you wouldn't believe it. It's like banks money cover up, and it's like all published. But, money talks here. There is such a thing as an old boys club, and it depends on where you go. If that's status quo here, in Hendersonville, I used to live south of there in Williamson County. So Hendersonville is a suburb area of Nashville. It's not like it's a podunk,
No. A lot of people live in Hendersonville. I mean, it's an upper class area, pretty, it's not poor by any stretch of the imagination. It's not Rogersville.
No, absolutely. Our Swiftie fans, she was from there, So, it's definitely, there's a mix, of different, but it's mainly upper class to rich people in that area. They're shopping and everything. So it's a nice area. But that's alarming to me that they didn't hand that over, and the Attorney General should absolutely be notified by Seth's attorney. I don't know if they still listen to this channel or not, but
yeah, he's still listening.
Definitely listening that to Pascal. I mean, that was going to be one of my comments, but they had kind of.
I'll text him and tell him that.
Okay. Yeah, because, I mean, just side note, and, I've had a lot of careers in my life before I became severely disabled, but, I had worked with a very prominent director in Hollywood, and I had edited with him, and it was regards to the Ron Suttles case of unaliving of a very, he was on his way to the big time. He was a football player at Long Beach State University, and he was going to be drafted into the NFL. His name was Ron Suttles. And he was mysteriously unalived in a jail cell in Signal Hill, California. So this film that I worked on with Charles Burnett, it's called The Glass Shield, was based off of that story and the police corruption. It was actually a real case.
Oh, wow.
And the Attorney General stepped in that situation. And I was like, God, this is kind of like deja vu. This is sounding familiar, and it was the same going on, hiding files and destroying evidence because they didn't want certain people implicated, letting prominent members of families out the back door of the jail,
Wow.
so yeah, so it rang a bell for me tonight, and I was really upset because I'm like, as a resident, we rely
I completely
law
heard that wrong.
enforcement.
I completely heard that wrong.
Well,
Wow.
I'm willing to say, like, hey, let's listen to it again, right?
Yeah, I mean, everyone in chat saying you're right. So,
That's what I took away from it. So,
wow, that's,
that.
I mean, not TBI, not having CPS records. Oh my God.
Right.
Like, don't you
Right.
want to know of anything that's going on in that house?
Right, I agree. And, with Seth, he said it was like, incidents where it was plural.
Right.
So I'm like, what or who? Was it multiple people involved? Was it multiple times involved? And then also, if you look up Tennessee law, I believe that the school was doing a CYA. And, somebody else in chat brought up the fact that there might have been visible marks on Sebastian, which I can attest to you. My dear mother that I don't speak to for good reason, I was a victim of that when I was younger. My father never even knew and lived in the same house, right? But he worked all the time. And it was normal to me. It was something that was normalized. Like, okay, you're bad. You did this.
Right.
Even though it really wasn't, right? So,
Right.
it was just an excuse. And Chris Proudfoot's rage reminds me of somebody where they get violent to release whatever pent-up weird tension they have inside of them.
Yep.
It's about the act for them, not necessarily the abuse, as odd as that may sound.
Yeah,
But
it's about getting it out for them. Yeah, getting the pent up rage. And once
it's something sick.
Don's the same way. Don Wells, same way. Same way.
I agree. They could be personal, ingratiating, all of that kind of stuff. Then it's like, Jekyll and Hyde.
But once the rage spikes, and then it goes after they spike, they go straight down, and then it's apology. Well, and Chris I don't think he apologizes, but Don will apologize.
I agree, and I think, Nina, but not moving on to Nina right away, going back to the school of that point, because I'll talk in circles all night. But there's a law in the state of Tennessee that children with special needs, even if, Tennessee allows the schools, which I don't agree with, to spank your children if you sign a form for corporal punishment.
Right.
Which I don't believe in.
Right. It's not against the law to spank your child. It's not against the law. It's it's abuse is a different thing. It's so.
Right. So even in the schools in the state of Tennessee, even if the parents were to accidentally sign that form for corporal punishment within the schools for punishment, it is illegal in the state of Tennessee to physically touch, harm, or punish by a school a special needs child.
Oh, it should be. Absolutely.
It is. It's a law. You can look it up. There's a statute on it. But, even that far, I mean, if that's the case, even in the home, the child should not be touched because they don't have the same processing abilities or regulators. Everybody's different on the spectrum,
Right.
But, the chromosomal deletion, we don't know, what all went on, but that child should have never been touched.
I agree. Dear, I'm getting another call. Thank you so much for calling.
Okay, have a good night. Thanks,
You too, my dear. Thanks. Okay. Oops. That caller wants to call back. You can call back. I had no freaking idea. I completely heard that wrong. I cannot. TBI did they not think of looking at, Sebastian's record or if there was any CPS records in that home? Hello? Like, that should be like, thank you for calling.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, dear.
You said that you were. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. This is Jessica.
Hey,
You
Jessica.
said your best friend is a
She works.
social worker, right?
Yes.
Mine is too.
Mm-hmm.
So I know how crazy it is. Let's think about it. Social workers get the report. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All mom and dad have to do is say, or mom and stepdad have to do is say, oh, he's not seen his dad in months. If they say that, there's nothing else on record, and they go, oh, we don't have his phone number or anything. Unless the social worker asks Sebastian, does he see his dad? They would have no way to know to contact Seth.
That's
That's
that is true. However, if they check the school records, they may find out. But yes, that is true. Yes. But
and I know social workers are so swamped that Tennessee freaking dropped the ball there regardless.
I just cannot believe
And
TBI did not have the damn CPS records.
I can't either. I think there needs to be maybe an administrative overhaul or at least an audit by the governor, because the governor would be able to do that. He would be able to assemble something. But, as a teacher, we have to report, right?
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, we'll lose our license. And it's this really tricky situation.
Mm-hmm.
If you report, the parents can make it worse on the kids, which is sort of what we sort of heard from CP.
Yeah. I mean,
if you don't call,
mm-hmm.
then you live with not calling the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what, I know the teachers in the mid that reported this are probably crushed. I mean, this would be an I quit teaching type of thing if one of my kids went missing.
Well, I mean, we know that the teachers did contact CPS.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Just knowing, even though you tried to help, the dispatch got hurt beyond, in my opinion, beyond anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that has wrecked them. That has wrecked that school. And they've not said anything about it. And, I sort of think about that. But
Yeah.
the TBI, so far I've not seen anything out of TBI in the last 3 years. I just haven't.
Not with high profile missing kids. That's for.
And I'm in Kentucky, and, we get compared a lot. Well, let me tell you, if there is a tip on a cold case or a child or whatever, they dig up whatever they need to dig up.
Right.
They'll dig up a mountain. They'll dig up a well. And it doesn't, we don't have this problem. And we have the Kentucky State Police, and then, we go to the FBI after the Kentucky State Police.
Right.
That's who we go to. Hey, we don't have enough. So, obviously, people are dropping the ball. I'm not saying the FBI can take it over or
Right.
whatever,
Right.
but there's no shame in working with other agencies.
No.
And I think these babies could be found a lot quicker if the shame was put away.
The ego.
and they quit being so stubborn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
But that's all I was calling about, because there's always that catch that we all miss stuff. We're all human, and nobody knows if I would think that Sebastian would talk about his dad at school and going for the weekend.
I would think, but you just never know. You just never know.
And we don't. And yet again, with working together, in Kentucky, different counties have different, their own CPS.
Hmm.
And if they have an outdated computer system or anything like that, it could hold everything up. So, yeah, like you said earlier, our system is broken.
It's broken.
But I just don't get how the quote-unquote highest law enforcement agency in the state did not look up those records.
I don't either. That floored me. That floored me. I heard that completely wrong. That floored me. Okay. All right.
But
Wow.
thank you. You have a good day.
You too, my dear. Thank you for calling. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow. That is craziness. That's craziness. All right, let's there were some things I wanted here.
So thank you, Tony, and thank you, Seth, wherever you are in here. I know as law enforcement. Sorry. If you have any questions, let me know. Whatever VR means, Katie and Chris.
When was that sent, Chase?
It was sent.
If you had nothing to hide, you wouldn't care who came to your house. Just saying. Or your family's
January
house.
April 27th, it was sent.
Yeah, well, guess who's not considering it anymore?
Thank goodness. Listen, I've been on board with you with putting a united front on, even though I'm skeptical with the whole Proudfoot situation. However, I understood, like I've told you many times, I understand what you were trying to do. I applaud you for trying to do it. Yeah, I mean, many people would not even attempted that.
So apparently Seth was the one who wanted to try to put on the united front, but that is just not possible. It's just not possible with Chris Proudfoot. It's not. Nothing is ever going to change with Chris unless he is in command with everything, with absolutely everything. Oops, hold on. I just got it. Ooh, hold on one second. Okay. Sorry, one second. Okay. Let's play this.
Because they would have known how that wasn't going to get them anywhere. But you still attempted it, right? You still did your due diligence when it came to trying to do a united front. And clearly Chris and Katie have no care in the world to have any of that united front. They don't care. This email says enough for me.
That's a great time for me to move into the second message that I wanted to deliver to you guys tonight. So, I'd heard a lot of people, especially over the last 48 hours or I don't know, I guess 70, whenever it was, Chase, that we came on last time. I guess that was 2 days ago. But, there's been a lot of people comment all over YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, that, they told me, they kept telling me, they can't believe it took me this long to find out or figure it out or whatever. And I didn't really put any merit into it, but I've recently become intrigued with JLR.
I mean, how do you put a united front on with parents and Chris, who is so disrespectful to anyone and everyone, a mother who is not looking, changing her stories. How do you do that? How do you do that? They care about everything that one thinks about them. You know what Seth said today? I don't care if you like me or not, right? If you like me, great. If you don't, it's fine too. He is impossible, C-Star. He's absolutely impossible to work with. I didn't either. I just don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible. And I don't think it's possible not only because of his ego and the, egomaniac that he is, but I think it's not possible, in my opinion, because he, Chris, and Katie are not giving their all. They're not letting that wall down. And the reason, in my opinion alone, why I think they're not letting that entire wall down is because they're hiding something. So they can't let that wall down. You know what I mean? Like they cannot let the wall down and be authentically trying to find Sebastian because they're too busy building that mother trucking wall up. You get what I mean? Let me find this one.
But I don't work for me. I work.
Tony is who is stepping in on behalf of Seth, and I'm ungodly grateful for Tony to step in and do that for him, because Tony does not have to do this whatsoever, but he is doing it, and he is opening and welcoming to everything and anything in regards to it.
Yay. Thank you, Yelva. Thank you, my love. Thank you so much for your support. Where's my applause button? There we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sweetsies. Because that's what only the, I don't know. I don't know. Like, we need to cut out the BS as much as possible in this, right? In this case, but how do we do that? How do we do that? That's you know what? This is a wonderful statement. I need to give this wonderful statement. Philippe says, Justin, I have a non-verbal autistic nephew, and one thing I can say is that people with autism don't know how to lie. Sebastian told the truth and Chris lied. That's it. That is a wonderful comment right there. Because it's not, to me, it's not that Chris lied or anything, but people with autism don't know how to lie. They are pure souls. They're pure souls. They don't have an ulterior motive. It is not in them. They are not capable of that. They don't know how to lie. They only, it's like, my autistic son is brutally honest. Well, it's kind of like a 4-year-old child. They're going to say the truth, right? They're going to say what is on everyone's mind, right? They're going to say the uncomfortable truths, right, that you and I are much more diplomatic about. That is not, they just keep it 100, right? They just keep it 100. And that, Philippe, is a wonderful, wonderful comment. Truly. Philippe is spot on. My son is autistic and can't lie, but is blunt to the point. Mhm. And that is dangerous to for an abuser. Yes. Yes. That is a brilliant comment, Philippe. My dad said your wife's face could stop a clock. Oh my god, that's funny as shit. Sebastian was one to stand up to. Yeah, because I don't think Sebastian understood all of the shit that Chris did. What does that mean? What, the joke that someone just said? Stop a clock. There is no way a CPS worker will let a parent listen. Not a chance. Not a fucking chance, Mohawk. Pardon my French, but not a chance. It is a one-on-one conversation. God.
And anything off of Seth's shoulders. My goodness, shoulders is good in my book. So, and we've seen Tony handle Caleb Harris as well. So these are good things that are happening. It's what needs to be happening. It's going in the right direction.
Oops. Okay. Maybe that was his
He
own.
was the one that put stuff out there from the very beginning that made us look at the Proudfoots and their behavior, right?
Oh, you're talking about Seth's mom. I was looking for Grandma Rogers in the comments. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
I know. I was like, wait a second.
Let me find
He goes, oh, yeah, I told her. She just told me to tell you she don't like you. And I said, all right, well, tell her Happy Mother's Day.
For now, she don't like you. For now, I think
Case is going to converse back and forth with law enforcement, and there's things that are said that won't go to Randy, the father. But it's not done because they don't trust Randy. It's done because they're working on something that is part of the investigation. So there's all types of things. But here with Sebastian, I think a lot of it has to do with they told Seth some things to do early on and he didn't listen. So they shut him off for a while and they iced him or sidelined him or whatever you want to.
Real quick, because
I think Seth may not be telling this either because he wants law enforcement to know that he can hold water, right? That he won't tell the public anymore. Because I think the law enforcement has been very cold to him because he did a lot of talking online, right? I'm like, half cripple, use my cane 50s, practically a shut-in, and that's how the woman behind behaved in a hospital in front of my entire family. But not when Nancy Grace interviews me. Right. Seth and Tony, they were a little disappointed in Nancy Grace about putting that out there about the medicine that she could have, that when Chris did that interview, sorry, not Chris, when Seth did that interview and said the thing about the medicine, Katie could have given him too much medicine. They asked to, turn that off, to not play that. And they said she allegedly said she would not play that, but she did. So there's that. Okay, guys, I'm at 2 hours, 1 minute. I love you all. I appreciate you all tremendously. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. I will be back in the morning, and I'll be on in the morning. Hey, Sweet Tea. That's the one I'll be on. We will probably be going on a field trip tomorrow. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining me. Great show. Always love to know your thoughts, where this case is with you guys. 10 Eastern, 11 Eastern. We'll be going on a little field trip. Not true crime related. Hey, Sweet Tea tomorrow. But the kids are out of school this week, and then after that, I will be able to go more places and all of that this summer. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. The face stopping a clock comment was an example of what a brutally honest child would say. True story. Yes. I haven't heard that in ages. It was just so funny to me. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all for joining me. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for that, Cheryl. I appreciate you. Yes, bring the cookies, bring your snacks. Yes, you do need a permission slip. Thank you very much. We will stop for popcorn, colossal popcorn only, and snacks, because you're my people, so you gotta have snacks. Okay? Gotta have, you just like Katie saying.
Snacks, because he's 15 and snacks. Snacks, because he's 15 and snacks. Snacks, because he's 15 and snacks.
There we go. All right, guys. Love you all. Appreciate you. God bless each and every single one of you. I'm gonna message that Seth and tell him about what Rach was talking about, because that needs to be talked about for sure. Hopefully Sebastian will be found soon, and Summer, and Monkey, and Elijah. Too many kids. Love you all. Good night. God bless.